So the too long don't watch of it is, I think this is a good deal, and I do recommend it if you understand its capabilities, which I'm going to get into. Let's start with how it showed up and setting it up, which was super easy. So I've kept this stupid thing in my shop for 2 weeks just to give you this shot, so I hope you appreciate it. As you can see, it came packed really well. I don't do unpacking, so that's all we'll get of that. The only thing I had to do is put the laser on here, and it's got 2 tiny screws that attach it, and then this whole arm assembly, these 4 nuts, I set it on there, tightened those 4 nuts, plugged this wire in there, and plugged in another wire. I think it was this one. That was it. It took me like 5 minutes. So what are its capabilities? Well, it has an engraving / cutting, but I really think this is primarily for engraving area of 150 by 160 millimeters. If you use Freedom units, it's about 6 by 6 inches or about 1 3/4 bobs squared, whatever you prefer. As far as, its power, it's marketed as a 15-watt laser, but that is a little deceiving. That's the only smack I have on this thing, is that is the power consumption, which lasers, when you compare lasers, it's normally not power consumption, it's the output of the laser itself, which the optical power of this is about 4 watts. So when you're comparing this to, like, say, a 50-watt CO2 laser, this isn't a 15-watt laser, this is a 4-watt compared to 50-watt, which I don't know a whole lot. If you've been around, you know that this is my first foray into this side of making. This engraves wood fine. If it says it cuts up to 3mm plywood, which I haven't tried. I have cut through paper, so it'd be great for making stencils. For my purposes, I'm mostly interested in engraving because I didn't have a way to engrave stuff, which is why I jumped on the opportunity to review this. A little background, Gearbest has been emailing me for about 1.5 years trying to get me to review stuff, but it's not what I normally do. But I have some jobs coming up where I need to do some laser work, and got another email and they had lasers. I was like, I need those. So that's why I'm taking a look into this, and there's a big brother coming out that'll do about a 16 by 18 or 15 by 17 inch area soon. I'll have a link for that below. By the time this video comes out, that'll be available. So if you need a bigger cutting area, that will be available. Now the strength, I think, of this unit is, even though you can't do big engraves, what you can do is engrave on big things. Most of the lasers and stuff I'm seeing, you're limited to whatever the bed size is because you have to feed your material into the bed. It has to fit in a constrained area, whereas this is a very compact portable unit. I already used it to do a custom engrave on a coffee table I made that was 2x4. I needed a massive laser to do that, or a portable one. The things I'm going to engrave are maybe cutting board, charcuterie boards, which might fit on a small laser, but I do a lot more furniture work, and that's where this is going to come in handy. And the big brother that I want to play with is doing some engraves on tables. So instead of needing a $5,000 laser, 180, 200 bucks, you can get yourself into a laser that you can throw on anything and engrave. That's enough blabbing. Let's start burning some stuff, and you don't want to burn your eyes, so this does come with a pair of glasses. Make sure you're wearing your glasses. Let's burn some stuff. As I mentioned, I'm kind of new to this, so some things I want to go over, some concerns I had with how to make this work with the software to get burns, where I want them to be, and make sure I'm not going to screw up a piece that I've already put a lot of time into. You can use the free Gearbest software is what's available for this, but that only works on Windows, and I'm a Mac guy. Fortunately, there's some software called Lightburn that's really popular. They have a 30-day free version I'm still on, but it's only $40 to buy it, and I'm going to buy it because that's not bad, and it works on my Mac, and it's been really intuitive. So that's the software I'm going to be using. Show you some stuff. This is a diode laser, and one of the handy things with the diode is you can do a test fire and see where it is. So I've got it in the shadow. You should have seen it pop up. Then once I do a test fire, I turn the focus ring until I get the smallest dot, and that's how I know the laser's in focus, because this is a light. If it's out of focus, you're not going to get the full power on the burn. Okay, I apologize for no fancy screen stuff, but yeah, I just grabbed the text tool. Let's make some text. Put it over here in the corner. This is the corner. As you can see, that's also where the machine is. Boop. It's in its top right corner. Now there's this handy button called frame, and when I hit frame, the laser is going to trace out the area it's going to engrave. Boom. So that's where it's going to engrave. The problem is I can't test fire while that's going to actually see a visible mark, but if you kind of watch it while it does that, you know, you can at least make sure that it's in the right area. But there's another tool. This is a workaround I found that I think is a handy trick for folks. This button moves the laser to wherever you select. So with that tool, I can pick a spot on my text and move my laser to that part of my burn. So I could move up to the top left of my burn, do a test fire, see where that dot is on the piece, then move to another spot of my burn, do another test fire, and now I can, in combination with that, make sure that, you know, the whole thing is going to burn where I want to. So if, say, you had an irregular piece and an irregular design you were burning and you wanted to make sure everything was within the frame, doesn't help you too much, but you can pick a spot, do a test fire, and see that it's going to show up where you want it is. Let's burn this, and I want it to go quick. So I'm going to put it to line mode, so it's not going to fill, it's just going to do a line. I've never burned hardwood, so let's see how it goes. Okay, that was 100% power moving at 15 millimeters a second, which is pretty slow, but as you can see, it burned in there pretty good actually. One of the handy things though I like is, so long as you don't move anything, say that's not dark enough, or I just did the line but I meant to fill it all in, I can just change that and rerun it, and then it'll make it deeper, or, you know, fill it in instead or whatever. So this time I've got it set to do a fill, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but let's time lapse it. There we go. It might be hard to see, but that's actually pretty deep. I probably could have gone a lot faster and still got a good burn on this. And this little glitch here, that was actually me stopping the burn to switch the camera over to time lapse mode. So that was my error. But yeah, burned into hardboard, really nice. I've done hardwood too, but let's do that on video. Okay, so there we go. I sped it up. This was 30 millimeters a second. You see it went a good bit faster, and honestly probably could have gone even faster because that's got a decent little lip. I can catch my fingernail on it. But yeah, hardwood, just fine. I mean, that's a very visible burn. I think that looks good. And this was just my logo, so I was able to take the image file, import it, and have it do a trace on it. I made it kind of small just to burn it quicker. So yeah, import anything and have it do a trace and burn it. Now, next test is going to be on stainless steel. Allegedly, if you black marker this stuff, it will etch some, so let's give it a try. Okay, not sure if this worked. I realized there wasn't much of a marker, so I added more marker to it and kept going. Let's see. Huh, okay. Interesting. Oh wait, no, that's just scratching off actually. Okay, yeah, so no luck on stainless, which isn't a surprise. You're really supposed to have a fiber laser to do metal, but thought it was worth a try. But if this was powder coated or painted or something like this, it would definitely cut through the paint or powder coat, just like it cut through the marker, and then you would, you know, have whatever design revealing the steel underneath. Okay, I stole some of my kids' heavy paper, and I'm going to try to cut out a stencil of my logo. Nope. Looks like it did make it through. Okay. So this was 100% power and 15 millimeter, and it just kind of perforated it, so it mostly went through, but not quite all the way. So if I'd gone a little bit slower, it probably would have very cleanly released or done another pass. But yeah, definitely got it. I'm just going to try that again at a lower speed. Okay, so I slowed it down from 15 to 12, and I don't know if it's obvious to you, but it is obvious to me that it is actually cutting through the paper this time. So have a perfectly clean cut, it should just fall right out. Okay. It's almost that easy. There we go. Got a stencil. Look at that. And of course, yeah, this is just a small cutout of my logo, but up to 6x6 you could cut pretty much any stencil you want, then use that to spray paint or paint over, I don't know, whatever. Lets you make stencils, and you can do whatever you do with stencils. Okay, I could have done a better job centering it, but definitely burned through leather, no problem. This was 50 millimeters a second, so pretty quick. Probably could have slowed it down some and still, or sped it up more and still got a pretty good impression. Now, if you have to do a bunch, I think a regular brand would probably be quicker, that you heat up with a torch, definitely, but you know, for one-off stuff, or if you don't do that branding frequently and you might have to do different things, this was definitely the way to go, because for about a little bit more than the price of a brand, you can brand anything, whereas once you invest in a brand, you know, you can only do that one design. Interesting. And there you go. That's my take on the laser. It definitely engraves. You can cut paper, so if you need to make stencils, I bet if you go a lot slower, take more passes, you could probably cut through cardboard. So if you like build things out of cardboard or heavier cardstock, I don't know, that's not my thing. Maybe you guys have ideas for that. But at 175, 180 bucks, I definitely think it's worth it. If you're Mac instead of PC, definitely consider the Lightburn software. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, and Gearbest isn't paying me, they just sent me the laser, and like I said earlier, I've needed one, and I've seen some other reviews, and look like something I can definitely put to use, so took them up, and I'm reviewing it. Anyway, I hope you're inspired to try something new, learn something, or are at least entertained by my fumblings through figuring out how to integrate this machine in my workflow. I've actually already used it on a few commissioned pieces and look forward to using it more. If you like free tools and stuff though, I do a giveaway on Patreon, so you might want to check that out. Anyway, until next time, make time to make something.